infinite divine beings. This is your second solution to loving yourself deeply when healing from narcissistic energy. So tonight I came to dance, but the salsa class was obviously canceled. It's not in the same space or something. So you're going to hear people talking and walking, and then the cicadas up in the trees. So, your second solution to loving yourself deeply is taking back your power. And you may hate me for saying this, but once again, this is what worked for me in my experience. Taking back your power means taking full responsibility of the experience that you had, knowing that it was a lesson. Okay? So, what I mean by taking full responsibility, not for any abuse that you encounter, because you can't control another person's behavior. However, you can control your boundaries. You can control how you react. You can dig deep within yourself and learn who the fuck you are. And normally when you learn who you are, you find the root cause of why all of the narcissistic relationships you've encountered, why they happen. Let me rephrase that. Not narcissistic relationships. Encounters or relationships you've had with narcissistic people. Yes. The relationship itself is not narcissistic. The interactions that you've had with people that have narcissistic characteristics, or people that were totally obsessive, envious, jealous, all of those negative encounters. So, for example, the encounters that I had where my boundaries were pushed, or a person was being volatile or violent towards me, is because I did not put up healthy boundaries around myself. I wasn't standing up for myself. I wasn't speaking up. Well, no, I take that back. I was speaking up. They didn't care about what I was saying. So that's why the first solution was to cut off all energy, all contact, because if they are truly not in their right minds, their sane minds, they're not gonna care what you say. They're gonna take what they feel is rightfully theirs, or what they feel entitled to, which is your energy, your time, your kindness, your efforts. They don't give a fuck about that. They want what they feel they are entitled to. So you have to realize that you are enough. You are deserving and worthy of someone loving you the way that you desire and deserve to be loved. I personally wish for equal reciprocity, equal or greater reciprocity in my relationships. So if I'm not getting equal or greater, or if I see shit going left, I'm pulling back my energy. I'm cutting things off. I really don't have time for nonsense. So digging within myself to learn who I am, I truly am. And you can know truly who you are if you go back to childhood, before you became filtered, before you were told you shouldn't say that because it's not nice, or you shouldn't speak the truth all the time because it's too harsh or it's too crass. Who you are when you were a child, before you became filtered, is who you truly are. As a child, for example, I have a very protective mentality and energy, meaning the people that I love, I protect wholeheartedly. And when I was a child, I don't know if, because I was very young, I can't remember if what I overheard. So I had an incident with my grandmother. I don't know if what she said was directed towards me, my brother, my birth mother, or my birth father. And I use those terms birth because, once again, like I said in the first video, you have spiritual mothers and fathers. So she might have said something sideways to either one of those people, or even to one of my cousins. The point is, I am very protective. And like a beautiful elephant, I have this vast memory. And I did not respond right then, but my birth mother would go out probably every Friday and Saturday night to dance, just like I love to dance. She left me at home with my brother one evening to babysit, and my grandmother called to check up on us, and I would not come to the phone. I refused to come to the phone. And my brother, I'm from the generation of where we had landline phones. The phone was yellow. I could see it clearly. And it was one with the dial. It had a little silver dial where you have to turn the number to go. Anyway, she called. I would not come to the phone. And I started cussing her out from everything you could think of. Like, you MFer, I don't want to talk to your MFing ass. This went on for about a good 5 to 10 minutes, where I was just letting her have it. And I never came to the phone, but my brother, being an Aries, is the instigator. He was holding the phone so she could hear everything I was saying. And I never apologized to her. I was never, the adults that surrounded me, my birth mother and her boyfriend at the time, were trying to make me feel guilty. When we went to her house for Christmas, they were trying to make me feel guilty and make me apologize for what I said. So I never did. I didn't feel any need to. However, people know who they can fuck with. When I grew up years later, I found out from my cousins that my grandmother was mean. I was like, huh? She never treated me mean. She was never mean to me. But she knew who she could fuck with and who she could not. So when you're dealing with narcissistic energy, and the thing about it is, it trickled My grandmother didn't treat me that way. However, I had a mother, my birth mother did, because she felt she could, or she felt like, well, you know, my mother treated me this way and I see nothing wrong with handling you the same. And because of the tie, the umbilical cord tie, or the spiritual soul tie, that had not been cut, then she was given grace, a lot of grace. And then when I brought it up maybe a couple of years ago, I reminded her, you know, that I cussed out my grandmother, and it was all because I was either protecting her, my dad, or my brother. Those people, or even one of my cousins, either one of them. I was very, very fiery, very, very feisty. So sometimes you have to react to people in the way that they understand, and then cut it off. So going back to childhood, I remember, this is who I am. I cuss people out, I cut people off, and that's the energy that I needed to stand in. I encountered another relationship where the guy was narcissistic towards me, and once again, I wasn't standing in my energy and power. And I'm gonna be honest, religion, no matter what religion it is, makes people docile. Excuse me. It makes people very docile. It makes them feel guilty, unworthy, undeserving. It has this energy and spirit of amnesia, where you can't remember who you are. So it's almost like you have to cut off narcissistic energies, or energies that do not allow you to be who you are. You have to cut them off. Religious energies will make you forget who you are and who you came to be, and not allow you to stand in your authoritative spiritual power, which you don't get from any religion. You are born with that. So loving yourself enough to cut people off from the beginning, or from the first solution, then loving yourself enough to dig deep, to do the shadow work. What I mean by shadow embracements, or inner child work, because you have to go to your inner child and say, who was I when I was a child? How did I react? How did I respond? Where did I have compassion? Like I said, I'm very, very highly protective of people that I love. However, with even that, I've learned, step back and allow people to have their lessons, because they need to learn certain things. I can't just protect and shield people from everything. No, they need to strengthen their own spiritual muscles, mental muscles, emotional muscles. So me taking responsibility for all that I've encountered dealing with people that have narcissistic energies, it was all for me to remember who I am, set healthy boundaries, know that, thank you, know that one of the great ancients I tend to work with, he told me, and I was recently reminded, your emotions are a luxury. Everyone does not have the capacity to handle. Everyone should not see your heart. Everyone does not get to have access to your emotions, or they shouldn't have access to your emotions. That is a luxury that you should reserve for people that are worthy of and deserving of seeing that portion of you. The other flip side of me is I'm very goofy, I'm very loving, I'm very fun, I'm very silly, I like to laugh. Everybody does not get that side of me, and they don't deserve to. And that's another thing that I had to realize, that people don't deserve that part of me.
How you doing, young lady?
So, hi. So you have to remember to keep up a boundary and get to know people. Just because you meet a person, they have a good personality, doesn't mean that's their character. So, as far as everything that I've encountered in my life dealing with narcissistic energy, it taught me how to love myself deeply, not giving so much love to others around me that I don't have any for myself. I hope this is helping y'all, and I hope this makes sense. And I love you, infinite divine beings, with unconditional love, which means you don't have to be all up in my energy, or I don't have to be all up in your energy in order to receive unconditional love. It's something that the Creator has given us, all of us. Okay, so discovering what that unconditional love looks like to you and for you is another way to love yourself. So once again, solution number 1, cut it off. Cut off the energy. Solution number 2, taking full responsibility and learning and knowing that whatever energy exchanges you've had with people that were very narcissistic were lessons for you to stand in your own authoritative spiritual power, for you to know who the fuck you are, or to learn or relearn who you are. I know this is a lot. I love you. Peace.